Hey guys, it's Wednesday, September 16th. The time is 7:34 p.m. and apparently the temperature is 20 degrees Celsius outside. I'm here at Osgoode Station, and the plan for this walk is to head up to the intersection of Queen Street and University Avenue, and then I'll head north up the west side of University Avenue. And I'll head up to Queen's Park, and then I'll head east on St. Joseph Street. From there, I'll head over to 1101 Bay Street. And this is a walk that was actually requested by one of the channel's Patreon members. I'll take my mask off now, so hopefully my voice doesn't sound so muffled. That's a look south down University Avenue. And that building there is the Canada Life building. It sits just north of the Campbell House Museum, which is what I'm looking at right now. That museum was completed in 1822, and the Canada Life building was completed in 1931. It is 17 floors, or 321 feet. And I can't see it from this angle, but there is a weather beacon at the top. And it has different colors to indicate if the weather is clear, cloudy, raining, or snowing. There's also lights that run up the side that indicate if it's getting cooler or warmer. I'll see if I'll be able to show that once I get past it. It was built by the Canada Life Assurance Company. And just off to the west there is Osgoode Hall. And in behind that is the new City Hall and Nathan Phillips Square. This walk will be relatively short, so I think what I'll do is once I get to 1101 Bay Street is I'll continue north through Yorkville, and then maybe I'll make my way over to either Yonge Station or Rosedale Station. These bike lanes on University were a new addition this year, and they're quite welcome. They're nice and wide, and they do have the protective barriers. And this building here on the left is the U.S. Consulate. The United States Embassy would be located in Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada. So that's why Toronto only has a consulate services building. University Avenue is a bit unique to the city in that it's only Grand Avenue. It's kind of a ceremonial street. A lot of the big parades will make their way down here. It used to be 3 lanes on each side, but here it's only 2 as they've recently added the bike lanes. And this building just on the left is the former Royal Canadian Military Institute. And it's quite neat what they've done. They've managed to preserve the original facade and transform it into what else? We are in Toronto after all, so it's now a condominium. Maybe I'll be able to take a look up at the tower. And there's no cyclists coming, so let's see if I can step out and get a look at the weather beacon on top of the Canada Life building. So the green on top means it's currently clear right now, and you can see the lights are going upwards. Which I thought meant it's getting warmer, but it actually feels like it's getting cooler right now. So I might be backwards on that. This next street is Dundas Street West. There's St. Patrick's Station, and just to the east of here is the Little Tokyo neighborhood. And if you continue on down past Bay Street, you'll find the Eaton Centre and eventually Dundas Square. And to the west of here will be the Art Gallery of Ontario. And then past that will be Chinatown. This building on the northwest corner is quite interesting. It used to be an 18-story office tower. It's currently in the process of morphing into a 55-story building, with the first 18 stories being reserved for office use, and then above that, they have added condos. There's also a link to St. Patrick's subway station. Line 1 of the subway does run parallel to itself through downtown. It starts at Yonge Street, and one end branches up along Yonge Street, and the other one runs up along University Avenue. So when you talk about line 1, you often have to specify which side you're talking about. And this part of the city we're entering, or to be more specific, University Avenue is often referred to as Hospital Row. Up here on the left we have Mount Sinai Hospital and the Princess Margaret Hospital. And on the right side of the street will be Sick Kids Hospital and the Toronto General Hospital. There's a look at Sick Kids. This is Elm Street. You could take that over to Yonge Street. I've got 5 seconds. I'm going to try to make it here. This building on the left is the Toronto University Rehab Center. There's Mount Sinai Hospital on the left. And that would be Toronto General Hospital across the street. And straight ahead is Queen's Park. I'll be cutting through there as I make my way up to St. Joseph Street. And this is where Gerrard Street begins. That's Aura straight ahead, the tallest residential building in Canada. I did a live stream last night that went down Gerrard Street. I started around Yonge and Gerrard and I went all the way over to Coxwell Avenue, so that was quite a walk. And here on the left is the Princess Margaret Cancer Center. If you live in Canada, you're probably quite familiar with the annual Princess Margaret draws, where companies will donate houses and cars and various other expensive goods. And they'll raffle, or they'll sell tickets to a raffle to win those. I think it's around $100 a ticket. And the good news is, unlike most of the US and Canada, when you do win something, you don't have to pay tax on it. This building on the left is occupied by Intact Insurance. And if I'm not mistaken, the Ontario Power Generation Company. That's the Mars building across the street, which is a former wing of the Toronto General Hospital. I always struggle to explain exactly what it is. I've had it explained to me a number of times and I'm still not quite sure. It's something of a technology hub encouraging public and private relationships, developing medical related tech from what I understand. And I knew I saw this sign here. It's the Ontario Power Generation. So I think this is their headquarters, along with Intact Insurance. And this is the intersection of University and College. So I did a narrated walk along College a few days ago. And in case you're thinking these intersections look extra wide, that's because they're actually two-phase intersections. So you're not expected to make it all the way over in one shot. So a lot of times if you try to cross, you will get stranded. And at this intersection is Queen's Park subway station. Let's look straight ahead at the Ontario Legislative Assembly building. Wow, she wasn't jogging, she was running. So university has ended, and we are now on Queen's Park. I think this part straight up ahead that goes around the legislative building is Queen's Park Crescent, and then Queen's Park continues on north up to Bloor Street, where it then turns into Avenue Road. And I think I can cross over here. I think they'd have a marked pedestrian crossing. They do have a pedestrian entrance here, but there's no safe way to get here unless you're prepared to run a bit. So Toronto is not the capital of Canada, but it is the capital of Ontario. So this is the Capitol building for the province. There's a number of various statues throughout the property. And one thing I find neat is this is not owned by the province of Ontario, the land that is. It's actually owned by the University of Toronto. It's built on the site of the old King's College. So the province actually leases this land off of the University of Toronto. I think it's something like $1 for 999 years. So it's effectively the province's land. And the province always has the power to expropriate it anyways. So I don't think the University of Toronto had much say in that matter. I'm just going to head back on towards the lights. There's a statue honoring John Sandfield Macdonald, the Prime Minister of Ontario from 1867 to 1871. I think this is the 7th different structure to serve as the Provincial Legislative Assembly. I'm sorry if it's a bit dark right now. I'm going to make my way back over to Queen's Park. Let's just run through this field here. Hopefully we'll be able to see something now. The viewfinder was quite dark on my camera back there. So just on the north side of this park is a large park area. This is probably not the best spot to jaywalk. and most of this land. And on the right is part of the University of Toronto. And the same goes with the western side of the property, all the land adjacent to it on that side is part of the U of T campus. And this here is where Wellesley Street runs through the middle of the property. You can take Wellesley east through downtown and it'll end up in Cabbagetown, which is a rather nice area full of old Victorian homes. And it looks like there'll be some more dark conditions ahead, so I apologize for that. There's the Regis College, a Jesuit school of theology. I have no idea what that is. And this is definitely one of the challenges of using a camera with a small sensor. But things should get a lot better once I get to St. Joseph Street just up ahead. That's the Sacred Heart House, part of the Jesuits of Canada. So again, most of these are University of Toronto buildings. So once I get to Bay Street, which is just up ahead, I'll be turning north. And the request was to go to 1101 Bay Street, so we'll certainly go to the entrance of that building. Looks like that's St. Michael's College, just on the north side of the street there. And at last, I should be at the much better lit Bay Street. South, that'll run down to the financial district. And to the north, it'll run through the Rather swanky Yorkville neighborhood. Electric bike on the sidewalk, disobeying the signals. Good job, guy. Here's a look south down Bay Street. I've always quite liked walking Bay Street at night. There's a strange calmness to it, although I guess since the pandemic has hit us, that always seems to be the case. I think at some point I'll come back here and do a night walk, one of the ones where I don't talk at all. I just record it as an ASMR video for those that enjoy the ones where I don't talk. And somewhere up here on the right should be 1101. I hope I didn't go past it already. These are the things I should probably research a bit before I do my walks. But where's the fun in that? There's tons of new condo developments once you get north of Dundas. This one's built on top of the facade of an older building. Let's see if I can catch a street number on this building. 1075. So assuming that the numbers are increasing as we go north, it should be just up here. And is this it? 1101 Bay Street. Looks like there's some neat art on the inside of the building. Maybe I can go in and take a quick look at that. Oh, there's a security guard at the door there. It's kind of cool. Put my mask on just to do that. I didn't really have any reason or business for being in there, so I did try to push my luck. All right, so the requested part of the walk is completed. If you are interested in requesting a walk within reason through the city of Toronto, you can check out my Patreon page and sign up. There will be a link to that in the description. And I think it's the silver tier and gold tiers that are able to request walks. It might just be the gold. That's a look down Charles Street. But either way, if you're interested in supporting the channel, take a look at that. There's also a link to PayPal in the description. I try not to bring this up too much. And of course, a link to Instagram. And my other page, so if I end up screwing this walk up in some way, I'll salvage what I can and post it on my other channel, Johnny Stumbles. That's the whole point of that channel, is just to put everything that isn't quite fit for the main channel. I think this patio is part of Italy. As this is Bloor Street West, I am approaching. But since I've walked along Bloor Street so many times on this channel, I'm just going to keep going north on Bay Street. I'm still undecided if I'll go to Yonge Station or Rosedale Station. We're clocking in at just over 30 minutes so far. I didn't think this walk would take that long. This is now the Yorkville neighborhood. Supercars are a rather common sight in this neighborhood.
Everything that I ate was like, yeah, it's okay.
There's Bay Station, which is on line 2. It's sort of sandwiched between both ends of line 1, the university side and the Yonge side. And I want to head east, but Cumberland doesn't look too interesting. It's all under construction. I think Yorkville, which is the next street, is very much the same story. I wonder if we're at the point where you could just snap a picture of that artwork and have it printed and framed in a manner that's indistinguishable from the original. There's the new Four Seasons on the corner of Yorkville Avenue and Bay Street. I can't imagine they're doing a particularly good business right now. The old Four Seasons, which was located a few blocks to the west of here on Avenue Road, was recently converted into a condominium. And this is Schollard Street. which will take you through Yorkville to the left, and it'll lead you to Yonge Street. I might just end up walking all the way to where Bay Street ends at Davenport Road, just up ahead. And then I'll take that over to Yonge Street and pop up into Rosedale subway station. I'm still looking for these new e-bikes in the bike sharing stations. I haven't seen any. People keep telling me that they're there whenever I live stream. Apparently all the Uber Eats drivers and other delivery drivers are hogging them. And now it's east on Davenport Road. On the other side of Yonge Street, Davenport turns into Church Street. And then it bends around and heads south all the way down to just south of Front Street. And you can't quite see the colors on it, but that's one of my favorite new condos in the city. So this is Yonge Street I'm approaching. I'm kind of in between Lower Yonge Station and Rosedale Station. That building on the corner there is the Masonic Temple. I know it as the concert hall. I've talked about it in other videos, but that was where I saw my first ever concert. And that was a Foo Fighters show back in 1996, shortly after they formed. Their big song at that time was Big Me. Everyone was throwing Mentos at the stage. And I'm not going to have enough time to cross, so I'll just wait for the lights to change and go over to the east side. And perhaps observe some kind of outdoor exercise activity. Okay, at least they're being active. That's something you don't see in this part of the world too often. A lot of Asian cities, it's quite common to see people in groups practicing Tai Chi or morning exercises in the parks. Or quite controversially, Falun Gong, I believe it's called.
And last.
This is Canadian Tire on the right. This one is a franchise store. It's not corporately owned. I always considered it a bit junkier than their corporate locations, but they've renovated it and cleaned it up, so now it's much better. And if I'm not mistaken, I actually see a bunch of bicycles in stock right now. That was not the case a month ago. Most major retailers were pretty much flat out sold of bikes. So just past the next intersection will be Rosedale Station, my destination for tonight. This part of Yonge Street certainly seems to be lacking in character compared to its downtown counterpart. There's a lot of these generic storefronts. I don't really like retail developments that are so thoughtless at street level like these ones. All these businesses are sort of wedged into these cookie cutter type properties. There's really not much freedom for their exterior appearance or their signs. And that kind of goes a long way to shape the character and feel of a neighborhood. If you compare that stretch to much of, say, Queen Street West through West Queen West, where a lot of the older buildings have been preserved. And the newer ones at street level are a lot more sensitive to sort of maintaining that character. This is Almer Avenue. You could take this right down through the Rosedale Valley. It's kind of a neat bike ride, and I'll spit you out at Bayview Avenue. There is the Bud Sugarman Park. Not sure if the camera picks it up, but there's a number of tents at the back of that park. And I have arrived at Rosedale subway station, which has sort of a classic 60s looking design to it. Sorry if it's a bit dark right here, it's not well lit. Maybe I should have stayed on Yonge Street. And I'll just throw my mask on and head on down to the platform. Just north of the station there is a neat little overlook, where if you can catch a subway train going by, it gives you a pretty cool vantage point. See if I can fish out my Presto card. Here we go.
For more information. Are you interested in improving accessibility on public transit? TTC is looking for new volunteer members for its advisory committee on accessible transit. Learn more and apply online by September 17th at ttc.ca/TTC18. Subway service on the portion of Line 1 between Finch and St. Clair will end at 11 p.m. tonight due to tracker. Shuttle buses will run. Check ttc.ca for more information.
This is kind of a neat open air station. So the next train should be here any second now. There's one point in from the other direction. And here comes our train. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this walk. And I will catch you on the next one.
Line 1, North Bay. Please stand clear of the doors.